Madang Town Clinic short on medical supplies. Correctional Service focused on inmate medical visit escapes. And close monitoring of state projects funding.
This is the National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thanks for joining me for Thursday's news. It was a slow start for many public servants this morning at the central government office as some offices were locked. According to several employees, PNG Power had disconnected power supply due to non-payment of bills and they've been using backup generator. However, PNG Power confirmed this afternoon that electricity has been restored at midday today. CBO houses major government departments such as agriculture and livestock, immigration, personal management and other agencies like APAC. To Madang, where the Madang Town Clinic is facing a shortage of anti-malarial medicine, especially Malawan tablets, and is only writing prescriptions for patients to purchase their supply of dosage from pharmacies. The clinic is also down with nursing officers and community health workers to help them serve the high number of patients visiting the clinic daily. Sister in charge Judy Alingo says the clinic is only supposed to cater for patients in the town vicinity. However, patients from other districts also go to them for treatment due to shortage of drug supplies in the other clinics.
The Madang Town Clinic is in the center of town and serves people living within the town area. It sees an average of 150 patients a day. Some of these patients live outside of the town area. Sister in charge of the clinic, Judy Alingo, says the number of patients who go to them for treatment is high, as clinics in other districts are running out of drug supplies.
That's all antibiotics like amoxicillin, blood big man Mary, Septrim tablet, blood big man Ronte baby, Malawan. Yeah, Malawan. Me looked at very serious ones, me play help him. I've got enough stock, but now I'm finished. Malawan I demand with antibiotics. So me also marasinia and.
But Sister Alingo says the high number of patients is also putting a huge strain on their manpower. She says they only order drug supplies and other medical equipment based on the population within their catchment area. However, they are now being forced to order extra supplies of drugs due to the high number of patients coming from the other districts.
Me look plan the sick man on the picnic come or big man come. Me bellad, me talk, people go house play but behind me talk sorry can me talk stop let them to come in. Because some people stop nothing. You know, this is one thing. Health workers, we are not really serious about when I'm something. You must look like sick man. Some people belong not at Mars and they close the door. You know, like look a sick man. But we have to. There's a prescription to write him. Whoever got money, will go buy.
Sister Alingo says for now they have a very limited supply of Malawan tablets left. She said she placed an order with the Lay Medical Store to get them. She was advised there was no Malawan in stock and that they would have to wait for the next order in February. But that's not their only problem. The clinic's pathology lab also needs a new microscope to work with, as well as other lab equipment. Meanwhile, the clinic is running on the Tukina user fee they charge patients. The Tukina charge is later used to buy drug supplies and other medical equipment for the clinic to use. This is because the clinic has not been getting the funds it needs to operate. The sister in charge had written several letters to the Madang District CEO for assistance since 2012, but has yet to get a response. This year will be the 7th year for the clinic to operate on the user fee without any funding support.
I report a matter, but nothing has been done. For the problems that I'm going through, I did write several letters, but action has no action taken. So we are just, just forget about everything, just carry seeing outpatients only, and with the immunization and bail mama and family planning. We're not going out.
Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Madang.
The Correctional Service is discussing ways to better plan medical leaves for inmates. CS Commissioner Michael Waipo says an internal team was established to identify better approaches when considering inmates' state of health. Waipo's comments come after an increase in cases of prisoners escaping while receiving medical treatment.
A team of correctional officers from the southern region have met at the Bomana prison and discussed how CS can provide better security for inmates whilst at the hospitals. In recent months, the Bomana jail outside Port Moresby has reported cases of inmates escaping at hospitals while receiving medical help.
An internal investigation being conducted by the Regional Director, Southern Region, is assisted by two officers from headquarters, going in to establish what actually happened and what went wrong. And maybe we can out of this learn some lessons and find a way forward.
Under Papua New Guinea laws, inmates can be allowed out of correctional institutions on medical grounds, but they must be supervised at all times. This is because our correctional institutions lack health facilities. Now, this privilege has been misused over the years, and Commissioner Michael Waipo says it is mainly to do with officers' negligence. On December 31st last year, 6 inmates escaped from the Lorengau jail during a sporting event in Manus. Of the 6, 3 have surrendered to police, while the other 3 are still at large. This has prompted Prime Minister Peter O'Neill to issue directives to establish why the inmates were allowed out of the prison.
Contained in their recommendations would maybe pave the way for us now to what actions to take. Where it was officer's negligence or whatever. That out of that investigation, we will be able to know ourselves what went wrong and attend to it.
Last Tuesday, the CS Commissioner had ordered that all prisoners who were on leave of absence on medical grounds must be taken back to Bomana. Thakla National EMTV News.
2 government departments financed with the Implementation and Rural Development will be partnering to ensure there's compliance and monitoring of funds intended for government projects. Minister responsible James Marape says in the last 5 years, approximately 4.5 billion kina was distributed through the DSIP and PSIP funds for development purposes. He says for this amount of money, there should already be gradual changes and developments in provinces and districts throughout the country, considering some of them need more funding support than others due to their remoteness.
The Public Finance Management Act will act as the compass for leaders in the political bureaucrats and government departments. Minister Marape, speaking at the official opening of the 2018 fiscal year today, says work is underway to establish a check and balance on all public funds. Although service improvement funds have been allocated in the last 5 years, there's no real development in many parts of the country.
And in trying times, we've systematically given out money to districts and provinces. And I'd like to, as minister responsible in my time, not just work on numbers and see and hear the numbers and allow checks to pass through our hands to the districts and provinces, and for us not to know exactly what is taking place in the province and districts.
While some districts require more financial assistance because of their remoteness, a database to keep track of all development under the PSIP and DSIP will be developed. Marape also made his intention known to have the finance of DSIP and PSIP transferred to the Implementation and Rural Development Department.
Only able government will now continue to give money to the province and districts, and I'd like to charge us in the opening of our 2018 work year that we now must, in as small as we are today, and myself and the Vice Minister bring to you our commitment that we will ensure that this organization is entrenched as a department.
Minister Marape proposed 1% of the total DSIP should be distributed for monitoring and compliance purposes by Implementation and Rural Development Department with finance. Following this announcement, Minister will meet with the staff of Department of Implementation and Rural Development on how best the two lead government agencies will facilitate and implement PSIP and DSIP at the province and district.
Now my hair, I'm having goosebumps in my hair because 150 million is a hell lot of money. And districts would have definitely changed or must definitely change in that space of time. That money is not for politicians to play politics over. That money is not for politicians to have as a shopping list. That money must be put to good use to ensure that it is translated to development projects. For instance,
Stacey Yallo, National MTV News.
A woman is amongst 3 men who appeared before the Waigani Committal Court on conspiracy and dishonest application charges. Police allege the 4 conspired and used over 2 million kina belonging to a Koyari landowner group. All are out on 2,000 kina police bail each. This alleged incident occurred between October 23 and December 14 last year, and the matter returns to court next month. You're watching National EMTV News. After the break, we hear from the country's principal geodetic surveyor about the level of threat posed by the Kadava volcano, and schools on Kadava have been closed and their students sent to schools on the mainland. Those stories and more when we come back. Welcome back to the news. An election petition filed by ousted Gazelle MP Malakai Taba against his successor Jalta Wong went to trial today. Taba filed a petition against Wong on grounds of bribery, constitutional breaches with errors and omissions, and sought a recount to the final ballot boxes. However, presiding Judge Colin McKyle dismissed constitutional breaches with errors and omission and allowed allegations of bribery to proceed to trial. The people of Usino Bundi district in the Madang province will soon have water supply connected to their villages and communities. The Usino Bundi District Development Authority says this will be the first proper water project in the district. Local MP Jimmy Uguro says their DDA aims to improve access to potable water, sanitation and hygiene to reduce morbidity and mortality in the next 5 years. Mr. Uguro also invites development partners to help deliver basic services to the district. The proposed bore water supply and sanitation project is captured under the Ramu Nicol Agreement. The Rabaul Volcanological Observatory has confirmed that there won't be any other eruptions apart from the ongoing volcanic activity on Kadava Island. Principal Geodetic Surveyor Steve Saunders says the Kadava volcano is isolated and won't cause the eruption of another. This comes after rumors of an eruption at BM, a dormant volcano near Kadava. Saunders also confirmed there's ongoing volcanic activity involving new magma deposits under the Kadava volcano that may cause large explosions.
The volcano islands around Papua New Guinea are all separate. They are not linked in any way. So an eruption of one will not cause an eruption of another. You know, we can see that from the historical record. Like BAM or BAM erupted several times in the 1950s, and that did not cause any other volcano to erupt. And again, Kadava erupted possibly 300 years ago, and there's no sign of any other volcano erupting at that same time. So statistically we can say they're not linked. Kadava, as you know, has become active. It looks like fresh magma is involved and is pushing its way up to the surface. We can tell that by the gas that's being emitted from the volcano, also basically because it has erupted. And also we're picking up seismicity, which shows there are still rock breaking events. So magma is still moving. So far, it appears that fresh magma hasn't reached the surface. If fresh magma does reach the surface, there will be more explosive activity because it will be gas rich, and also the chemistry of it will make it more explosive, and also interaction with seawater will make it explosive.
An emergency response centre will be set up in Wewak to effectively coordinate the disaster response on Kadava Island, and a submission will be presented to the National Executive Council for the immediate release of funds for the relief and relocation exercise. 4 million kina is the target amount.
The submission will be made to NEC next week, and the 4 million kina funding, when released, will be used for the resettlement process.
That will be catering for all this report that they have submitted in terms of relief supply and of course awareness, training and other things that they are going to do from now until the next 6 to 12 months.
The National Disaster Office will also send a team to set up a proper response center in Wewak.
It has a special role and purpose, and that is to coordinate all the airports going in and out of the province as well. Information coming out of the province should be filtered through, should be channeled through that EOC. It cannot be done any other way. So it's a more managed, coordinated government system that controls movement of information, relief aid, assistance that goes into a province, and of course that comes out of the province as well to the center, and knows where it's supposed to be going.
In the meantime, they maintain the national government stands ready to assist and work with the ECP provincial administration for the resettlement program. Other organizations like the International Organization for Migration and Oxfam have also come on board in the relief and relocation efforts.
We have IOM on the ground, even Oxfam is there as well. They will help to, IOM is specialized in setting up a care center camp, and so is Oxfam as well, and everybody are assisting each other to set up a care center.
So I want to inform the nation that our government is working, responding to the situation on the ground, and our systems of effectively trying to put everything together to take some control on this situation.
Stanley Oved Jr., National MTV News.
As teachers resume next week, Monday, January 22nd, the 2018 academic year for schools on Kadava Island in East Sepik Province will likely be affected by the surrounding volcanic activities. Kadava head teacher Bernard Fundin confirmed that schools on Kadava Island have been suspended for an indefinite period, with other schools expected to accommodate them. Mr. Fundin says a report will be submitted to education authorities.
The sudden eruption of Kadovar on 5th January 2018 has threatened the resumption of Kadovar primary school operations. Headmaster Bernard Fundin was on the mainland when the volcano erupted. He says the ongoing volcanic activity is now putting the 2018 academic year in uncertainty.
For the good of the students and the parents and the citizens of the island, the school is going to be shut down, suspend for a period of time, to give time for the disaster team and relief team to make way for the people to the relocation on the mainland. Thank you.
There are 187 students attending Kadovar Primary School, a level 3 school with 2 teaching staff. The head of the institution says all students have been evacuated to Rup Island. Mr. Fundin visited Kadovar recently with members of the PNG Defence Force to get a situation report.
Write a report and suspend the school for a while. So I have to prepare a situation report for them to put it in the table later, then approve it.
With the relocation of Rup, BM and Kadovar progressing, the 187 students will now be transferred to schools on the mainland. Mr. Fundin hopes schools will allow his students to be enrolled.
Seek their attention, and if they only alright, let me move beginning on set.
Meanwhile, during his recent trip to Rup Island, where Kadovar Islanders were also housed, East Sepik Governor Alan Baird says any issues to do with the affected islanders will be handled by his government.
School one have something, Bami Plau organize him lahat. Housing, Bami Plau organize him lahat. One have lili something, Bami Plau organize him lahat. Province Plipla like helping Mibla now. Please, Yupla helping Mibla or helping Mibla here.
Jack Lapave Jr., National MTV News.
Parents must take some responsibility to pay for fees charged by tertiary and other levels of education institutions, says ECPIC Governor Alan Bird. Governor Bird says the ECPIC provincial government is formulating a new policy to assist fund students. He says the policy will complement government's tertiary and TFF policy.
With schools and higher education institutions soon to open the doors and begin the 2018 academic year, the issue of school fees will soon be center stage. For East CPIC, Governor Bird says the provincial government is putting together a policy to assist students. He says the policy comes as funding in the past years had no proper framework.
If we have the right mechanisms around it, as long as it's transparent, it's fair, and there's equity in how we run it, then it should benefit a lot of people.
The policy will see each student allocated 2,000 kina as a component apart from TFF and tertiary assistance. The East CPIC governor says if the open MPs of the province also provide additional funding, East CPIC students should benefit.
I'm hoping that the open members will come in and help to fund the policy. And if they do, and I've got, we've got 6 open MPs. If each of them contribute $500,000, then we're going to end up with a 5 or a 6 million kina fund.
The policy is, however, still in its drafting stages with ongoing consultative meetings. For now, Governor Bird says parents must take responsibility and pay, then can collect the funds from the provincial government.
Once we have the funds in place and we have a secretariat that's going to manage this, then they can come through with their receipts and they can get their refund of 2,000 kina.
Jack Lapave Jr., National MTV News.
Authorities in East CPIC are still searching for the 7 people who went missing last week. The Maritime Safety Rescue Coordination Centre reported their boat had capsized between the Mushu and Robin Islands near Wewak. It's believed the skipper was under the influence of alcohol at the time of the incident. Of the 7 passengers and the skipper, only 1 was able to swim to shore. The 8 were travelling into Wewak from Vanimo when their boat capsized. Meanwhile, the National Maritime Safety Authority has issued a statement urging small boat operators to travel in good weather, carry extra fuel and not to overload. You're watching Thursday's news. We'll be back with more after these short messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Nawai District has allocated 50,000 kina through its 2017 DSIP funds to support a plant machinery training program with Commercial Training College and the Works Department in Lae. Nawai MP Kennedy Wenge says this initiative aims to increase human resources for the district's development. Among them was a 19-year-old.
Ryan Fenangte is 19 years old and grew up in Hobu community in Nawai District. He couldn't make it to grade 11 after finishing his grade 10 in 2014. Ryan and his friends didn't realize the potential when they were given the chance to enroll at the Commercial Training College in Lae to study plant machinery last year. The 12 young men graduated with certificates today as plant machinery operators.
Sawe mi kisi mlo developing community area blumiet kanu all roads na sampla all bridge la ngol solo place mi play them nogat so now permitting mi play it mi play gol no developing area mi play it again.
The program is a 5-year program with Nawai District, the college and Department of Works. 50,000 kina has been allocated through DSIP to support this program.
I taught them with all theories, our classroom works, but I don't know how to operate the machine, so that's the origin way I sent my trainers on the machine where they train them.
Come to Yellow Works Department, me also operator, so me train him, also all pigini, only struggle hard long, finding work.
Member for Nawai Kennedy Wenge said the initiative is to help young people become proactive and to help develop the district human resources.
Now I'm pissed, me belong building this country, Na tulo Morobe province mi mas true e mo warga big plo mining by stop long wapi e me number 2 long world na mi looking mo plan je operated by short long em o sen 12 plo long come out now. Na tu mi looking big plo project long upside lo work piece 2 by come e mi need implant clean machine will go come. Na tu this pla school 2 ba training clean machine go operator grinder machine dozer na car 2 ba mi school mall in up long 5 years ago. Manta so Center equity or by mixing or piglimeri too.
Any initiative that is put in place that develops the young of Papua New Guinea is enormously supported by Mr. Rosso. He sees that as the way forward, and thankfully him and the Honourable Member for Nawai have the same thought process. They've seen where New Guinea has come to, they've seen where the province has come to, and they know the only way out of it is to develop the young and get them thinking, respecting, understanding that with God behind them and a very good education, anything is possible for them.
Julie Badui Owa, National MTV News, Lay.
2018 will be the year that will make or break agriculture, and that's according to Agriculture and Livestock Secretary Dr. Velepet Ilava. Speaking at the sector's dedication service today, Dr. Ilava called for a teamwork this year for plans to be achieved. Agriculture has been identified as a priority by the national government through the second Alotau Accord.
Representatives from the Department of Agriculture and Livestock, commodity boards and industry representatives gathered today for a dedication service. This year's service, organized by the PNG Rubber Board.
We thought that we needed to come back and reconnect with nature and with God and get our bearings all organized before we start the year. I want to thank the Minister, who was also instrumental in ensuring that we have this dedication service outside of this Port Moresby.
Given the priority placed on agriculture by the O'Neill government, the sector has been challenged to perform, with Departmental Secretary Dr. Velepet Ilava calling for all stakeholders to work together. He emphasized that 2018 would make or break the sector, particularly given a substantial increase in funding as well as the increased scrutiny that the sector would come under.
I think the key thing we need to do quickly is to get organized. The biggest challenge is trying to ramp up the production as quickly as we can in cocoa, in coconut, oil palm and all the other commodities. And also to bring into play, start to build a foundation for industries like livestock, especially cattle industry. And that needs to be also now, that foundation needs to be developed this year.
Given the increased focus on agriculture at the national political level, Secretary Ilava is confident that the sector can work together to deliver on its programs over the next 12 months.
I think more importantly, we need to trust one another. And that's the reason why I decided that we come here as a team, not only as a department, but as a sector, to come out and start to work together. And so we already have a very good relationship, as some of you may know, working with us over the last few years. The commodity boards work very, very closely with the department. There's a very, very strong trust level, and we have a very good relationship among ourselves. So that trust level is there, so it's just about us continuing. I think sometimes you've got to put your filters on and stay focused on winning the race, rather than be distracted by side events.
Mere Batulo, National MTV News.
A Chinese man who was charged for stealing electricity had his case dismissed today by the Waigani Committal Court. Court Magistrate Dennis Magaru ruled Lin Chun Michael's bail money of 1,000 kina be refunded and the charges against him be dropped because statements from 2 primary witnesses were not obtained in submissions by police prosecutors. Michael was present in court with his lawyer when the court made the ruling. You're watching Thursday's news. We have Trukai Sports up next. The Otio family says thank you for the show of support for their son. That story and more when we come back.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The family of late Kato Otio has thanked Papua New Guinea fans and supporters abroad for their support. They said the support shown over the past 2 weeks for their son and brother has been nothing short of remarkable.
The support shown in words of comfort from the people of Papua New Guinea and those abroad who knew of their son has been heartening for the family of the late Kato Otio. This is something the family says it will treasure for a long time to come.
This is something that we will all treasure. The sporting icon bringing us united as a nation.
They thank the PNG RFL, sponsors, the Witness Vikings, the Canberra Raiders and the people of Papua New Guinea who shared sympathy in their time of sorrow.
The community here in Tatana village and the community, particularly the Koyari families who were with us. The support that you gave, the expression of sorrow, words of comfort, flowers, donations, even the poor street Papua New Guineans dropped tears. We would like to thank everyone.
Grandfather Opa Udia says the attendance at the funeral services was outstanding. The turnout speaks volumes of the following late Kato had.
Especially the turnout at the funeral services was so huge. I just couldn't believe that. Everyone from abroad are also expressing their satisfaction in meeting this young player and expressing themselves as to how humble, how friendly he was. So these are all unexpected. Even the community here did not expect that attendance and the free flow of words of comfort, the expression of sorrow, even people crying on the streets. It's unbelievable. That is a fact for the community as well.
The family of the late Kato Otio is very grateful. Family members say the support has been extraordinary and words can't express how thankful they are.
On behalf of both families, I'd like to say thank you very, very much. Thank you for the support, the comfort that you have given us through this difficult time.
Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
PNG High Performance Manager Cornelius Papau today highlighted in an interview with MTV Sports that preparations for this year's international sporting events are being carried out. These sporting events include the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games, Youth Olympics and the 2019 Pacific Games. He says the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games is expected to see Team PNG enter the Games with 41 athletes participating in 10 different sports.
With 2.5 months remaining to the Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast, Australia, PNG High Performance Manager Cornelius Papau says preparations to support athletes with training, strength and fitness has been their #1 priority.
We have a couple of big events early this year, mid-year and next year. So Commonwealth Games, we currently have meetings with the PNGOC at the moment. So there's teams going down for the athletes going down for the Commonwealth Games, which now with the meeting now we have assisting them with the preparation for the athletes. So by early February we should have all the names for the athletes coming in and we should know training should begin at the training center. 41 will be going representing Papua New Guinea at the Commonwealth Games, which is very exciting. We won't be competing in all the sports, but it's great to have a representative from Papua New Guinea in the Commonwealth Games. We're looking about 10 sports going for the Commonwealth Games. Many of the athletes possibly will be heading overseas to Gold Coast to have the training.
Papau says not only is the Commonwealth Games their priority, but another big event Team PNG has to prepare its athletes for will be the Youth Olympic Games in October this year in Argentina. Another event that Cornelius says Team PNG needs to reclaim its title for next year is the 2019 Pacific Games. He says preparations and training for these events will be looked at, saying the sooner the athletes are prepared, the better their chances.
Yeah, 2019 South Pacific Games in Samoa, very exciting for us. The country, I think in 2015 we did really well. you know, to be number one. We're really working towards it now, especially the three performance manager, me, Solo, and Anna. So really, at the end of the day, we really want to work with the national federations, you know, and the PNGOC to really get, you know, the training started, get people involved now, and, you know, advanced training is more better than the last minute. So it's really going to work out for us.
With 2.5 months to the Commonwealth Games, Cornelius says 41 athletes have been identified and will participate in 10 different sports come the 4th of April, with the opening ceremony to be held at the Metricon Stadium. The Commonwealth Games will run from the 4th of April and end on the 15th. Godwin Eki, National, MTV Sports.
The National Soccer League Round 2 competitions in Port Moresby will go ahead this weekend as scheduled. This was cleared by PNGFA after Round 1 match was cancelled in Port Moresby over the weekend when PNG Sports Foundation prevented players from accessing the venue. However, PNG Football Association has now reached an agreement with the National Sports Trust Limited for the use of the Bisini Soccer Oval. FC Momase will play at home against NSL Young Guns Besta PNG United, while Toti City Dwellers flying high off last weekend's win over Besta will host Buang FC at the Sir Ignatius Kilagis Stadium in Lae. In Madang, Southern Strikers will play their home and away match against local favourites Madang FC. All matches are scheduled for a 3 p.m. kickoff. You're watching Trukai Sports. We'll have more for you after these short messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To rugby, and the PNG Pukpuk's coach Douglas Guys has set his sights on the HSBC Hong Kong Sevens. He says the team is banking on the Sydney and Hamilton Sevens series to build momentum towards the World Series in Hong Kong.
Despite the challenges that lie ahead, Coach Douglas Guys has set out a clear plan for his side to follow. The absence of seasoned campaigners like Wesley Valley has not been a problem for the team.
We had our final trials last Saturday, and we finalized our 12. We've rested a couple of guys, Wesley Valley and Dean Manale, so we're giving a few new boys a go in the two tournaments, just to, all in all, just using these two tournaments to prepare well for the Hong Kong qualifying tournament. Yeah, so we've got 3 debutants in the team at this level. We've got Isaac Aquila, Samu Marambes, and Emil Lautamina.
However, a couple of new inclusions in the squad has earned Coach Guys' respect as they prepare to make their international debut.
We've struggled at the back end of tournaments, and it's mainly due to our preparation. We haven't prepared ideally, yes. So we're hoping that this year we'll have a good 6 to 8 week block together before moving into going to Hong Kong, and we'll try to give that a good shot this year.
Going up against England, Spain and South Africa is a daunting prospect for the Pukpuks, but having a well-structured game plan to topple the tournament favourites is within the team's capabilities.
We've just been in camp for about 2 weeks with the outside boys, and we couldn't do much because much of the boys coming in they've lost a lot of weight living outside of Port Moresby, and so we really concentrated on beefing them up, and again, all our programs and what we're doing is mainly focused towards Hong Kong, so all our scheduling and our loads are towards Hong Kong, but we'll definitely give Sydney and Hamilton a good go.
The team departs for Sydney next week Tuesday.
For Guyana, but here come Papua New Guinea once more.
Shane Saroya, National, MTV Sports.
This week, the PNG Junior Squash team is participating in the 2018 Australian Junior Open. A 3-man team led by coach Madako Swari Jr. has seen 3 young athletes, Lavao Nalu, Christopher Whitchurch and Amity Alakos, gaining exposure and experience in sports development. Round 1 in the Australian Open saw Alakos winning by forfeit against Caton Porter of Queensland to qualify for the main draw. Whitchurch is looking forward to play in the second round after coming out strong to win his match against seed Lachlan Woodforth, while Nalu is looking forward to win the plate playoffs against Corey Condon of Queensland. To cricket, it will be a busy year for Cricket PNG, preparing for world sporting events which the men's and women's teams will participate in. And in developing the code, more cricket programs will be conducted in partnership within and around the country.
With the Hebel PNG Under-19 Garamut still competing at the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup in New Zealand and the PNG Barramandis just a month away from the Cricket World Cup qualifiers campaign in Zimbabwe, this year has surely gotten off to a busy start for Cricket PNG.
As senior men's team, the Hebel PNG Barramandis will be playing in the ICC Cricket World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe, which will take place in February-March, which is an opportunity for our national team to hopefully play in the 2019 ICC Cricket World Cup in England.
And the women's team, the CPL PNG Levels, will also be due for the T20 World Cup qualifying campaign in July in the Netherlands.
It's a very big schedule for all three teams, and we're quietly confident that we'll get the results that we're looking for.
Having just returned from the Australia Cricket Country Championship, 6 members of the Barramandis and 8 Levels have continued into training as of this week. Though for the men's national team, they will be departing for Zimbabwe soon after the return of the Under-19 squad from New Zealand. Speaking of the Garamut's performance, CPNG Director Guyan Loku spoke positively of the youngsters who rose to the occasion and gave their best. With Cricket PNG's effective development pathway, some of these junior players are expected to make the senior men's team eventually.
Well, in terms of our Under-19 team, our Hebel PNG Under-19 Garamuts team, they've played in 8 ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cups so far, with a total of over 90 players that have participated in these World Cups. And with our statistics, 30 of those 90 players have transferred into playing for the senior men's team, the Hebel PNG Barramandis. So we're looking at 1 in every 3 players. So hopefully we get around 5 players coming through the Garamuts program to one day play for the Hebel PNG Barramandis.
Meanwhile, CPNG's development programs, which have reached over 180,000 participants nationwide in last year alone, will see more activities this year in an effort to reach more participants. And inclusive programs like Cricket Blongolgeta and school cricket has proven effective as well.
Last year, the BSB school cricket program saw over 180,000 school kids come through the program, with the Under-19, Hebel PNG Under-19 Garamuts all coming through this program. So it is a very successful program that we're looking forward to, once again, to deliver all around the country in all the 10 regions that we are in.
For now, the first quarter of 2018 will be the busiest part of the year for CPNG as both the senior men's and women's teams prepare for the World Cup qualifying campaigns. Dinero Strico, National EMTV Sports.
Still on cricket, the Hebel PNG Under-19 Garamuts have upheld their end of the bargain, facing their opponents head-on, despite the number of losses in their wake. The odds are definitely not in their favour, going up against cricket giants India, Australia and Zimbabwe. The Garamuts gave it their all.
They played, obviously, Zimbabwe and India, with one more pool match against Australia as well. So we'll be hoping to compete against Australia, and then most likely we'll be playing in the plate finals, and hopefully it'll decide where we are ranked in terms of under-19s in the world. So hopefully we try and reach our best ever ranking of 12, which happened a couple of years ago. So hopefully our boys can compete against the other nations.
And that wraps up Chukai Sports for us tonight. Weather details up next.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. Rain showers and possible thunderstorms in Port Moresby and Daru. Rain showers in Keraman, Popondetta and brief showers in Alotau. In the Momase region, rain in Lae. Rain showers in Madang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, heavy rain showers in Loringa and Kimbe, rain showers in Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul and Buka. And in the Highlands region, rain then morning fog in all centres.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Before we go, recapping our main stories again. Madang Town Clinic short of medicines and resources, Correctional Service looking to stop medical visit escapes, and more focus to be on accounting for state projects funding. And that's the news, sports and weather for Thursday, the 18th of January 2018. On behalf of the entire EMTV news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.